Yeah, it's social media day in Ann Arbor. Bring out your Bitmojis. They are ready in the student section at Chrysler Center for an early noon tip as they get set to host the Illinois Fighting Illini. Illinois 0-3 in conference play, looking to get off the schneid. Michigan 2-1 coming off the win Tuesday at Iowa. Brandon Gaunt and John Crispin with you here in Ann Arbor, and let's get you right to the starting lineups. And John, a change at the point guard spot for both of these teams.
Yeah, first for the Illini, it's going to be Trent Frazier, a guy that can really light it up from the perimeter, but defensively he's going to have to set the tone and pressure Xavier Simpson of Michigan. This Illini team is going to force Michigan to drive the basketball. They're not going to give up those easy drive and kick opportunities, but I think it all starts with Xavier Simpson.
Eli Brooks will be coming off the bench. Had been starting in that spot. Big Ten standings. 3 teams at the top, Michigan State, Purdue, and then the Buckeyes also 3-0.
Yeah, Buckeyes still right there doing it kind of the Butler way. I think eventually it's going to become the Ohio State way. It's very similar to what Wisconsin's been able to do with a strong foundation. They've had a lot of success.
Mo Wagner, Michael Finke ready to tip it up. 171st meeting. These two longtime Big Ten programs, and Michigan will have the opening tip in front of a sellout crowd of 12,700 here at the Chrysler Center.
Well, that didn't take long.
No, there you go. Illinois, 6th in the country at turning people over at 18.9 a game, and they get one right off the bat, and then an early whistle as well.
I mean, Brandon, I didn't even get a chance to set up the fact that Illinois is going to pressure and just force turnovers. This is what they do, #1 in the Big Ten in forcing in steals. And as I said, this didn't take long. They're not going to allow you to pass the ball. They're going to force you to be drivers. And I think 4 guys on the floor for Michigan have to be able to put the ball on the floor and be comfortable with it if they want to have success tonight. Already a substitution. Charles Matthews to the bench.
Yeah, he picked up a foul, and we've played 16 seconds. So Illinois, best in the conference, 18.9 turnovers forced a game. Michigan, only 9.9 turnovers given per game. So it'll be an interesting cat and mouse game. So Illinois, with their first offensive possession, running it through LaRon Black, their go-to guy who leads them at 14.7 a game. But here it's off the mark for Trent Frazier, the freshman. Frazier getting that start, as we talked about, instead of Tejon Lucas. Lucas will come off the bench in this one today.
You can already see the pressure from Illinois just takes passes away. You're going to see a lot of dribbling, but this is what it's got to be. You've got to be able to attack with the bounce.
So Xavier Simpson getting the start and getting in the scoreboard in the first minute. 2-0, and he'll head to the line.
I mean, this is what it is. Illinois is not going to overhelp, but what they want to do is stunt and get back to just deny that 3-point drive and kick shot. But you've got to be able to finish at the rim. That's just not good defense by Trent Frazier. Can't allow him to turn the corner that easy.
And that's one thing that makes Michigan so tough, right? You have to honor those shooters around the arc.
Well, you do. And the thing is, coaches are starting to figure out that the easiest shots, some of the best shots you're going to get all game, are those drive and kick threes. So you cannot overhelp and give up a good shot and create a long closeout.
Short on the free throw, Simpson. That's been an issue for him. 7 of 14 so far this year, small sample size. Backdoor pass, a little too hot to handle. Mark Allstork jumped for it, couldn't get it, turnover.
Not a bad look. I mean, you're able to just make the back cut. You just got to go up, catch it with 2 hands. May not have had it in position to score, but could have been the right opportunity.
Illinois also does turn the ball over almost 15 times a contest. Simpson driving again, gets stopped, and kicks it out to the man in the pink shoes. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, been wearing those the last 3 and been very successful. He's driving here, high off the glass. And it's picked up by Trent Frazier.
And that's the type of shot that Illinois is okay with. You're forcing a tough, contested running layup with guys in position to rebound.
Mark Smith, another freshman. A lot of youth on both sides. Smith cutting to the basket and evening things at 2 apiece.
Yeah, one of the special things about Mark Smith is not only his poise and his ability to shoot, but it's his body. The guy's able to use his body well. He's not going to elevate over top of anybody. He's not at this level, but he uses his body so well to protect the basketball and get that shot up.
Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois last year. A great one for Brad Underwood and company.
Even if just from perception, you know, the perception of getting that guy is key for a new coach.
Poole misses the 3. Yeah, especially, as you said, for a new coach trying to build something. And Brad Underwood, first time that I had met him before the game, talking to him, but by all accounts, such an impressive coach. And he's a seasoned veteran because of what he's done at the previous stops.
Well, he's very impressive. I mean, this is Brad Underwood's first season at Illinois, but I'll tell you what he's done there is try to establish an identity. And it's something that I think, you know, they talked about. Josh Whitman said bringing him in. We need to establish identity in this program, and that is a great identity to have. Recruit your state, control your state, but also, as Smith took a little hit pointer there, also play with an intensity that is just fearsome. And Big Ten teams already know what they're up against with this Illinois team, as I said, leading the conference in steals in conference play.
And two tough losses to start conference action in December when they lost in overtime to both Northwestern and Maryland. And then lost by 10 to Minnesota earlier this week. Meanwhile, Michigan 2-1 in league play. And their head coach right there, Jim Beilein, who will turn 65 on February 5th, 40th year as a coach.
John Beilein's one of the best. We have great coaches in this conference, and I think it's part of what makes the job so great. But John Beilein is one of the best guys to just sit there and talk to. You feel like you walk away learning something every single time.
That's how I feel when I talk to you.
Yeah, right. I don't know what you're learning.
11 on the shot clock, and there's a foul before the ball comes in. That's going to go against DeMonte Williams. Another one of those young bucks on the side of Illinois.
And for Michigan, this is where you got to be smart. I think that was a smart play by Duncan Robinson. He just kind of locks him up. You see how he throws his arm up? He locked the arm of DeMonte Williams. I mean, that's just a veteran move. Shoot, if I was getting pressured like this, I would grab, step on shoes, do whatever you've got to do.
Veteran officiating crew, by the way, Bo Borowski, Kelly Pfeiffer, Chris Beaver, the three on the whistle. Abdur Rahman wants to attack. Nice move, but it's swatted out of bounds by Gregi Boigbedi. Freshman from Nigeria says, no, sir, underneath.
Boigbedi understands the guy that he's covering, and he's giving just enough space where if he gives space, he can contest the shot.
Inside at 10 on the shot clock. Simpson to Wagner. He'll step out and bury a three.
But Wagner just set a fantastic screen. He set a great screen. And kids, if you're watching, the way to get open, whether you're a guard or a five-man, is to screen.
Michigan got it, then gave it right back. Bucket and a foul. Great play, Mark Allstork.
And Mark Allstork just stays after. Just physical toughness. His physical toughness is going to keep him in this game. I mean, you have to be strong with the basketball. You can't be careless with the outlet pass.
And the foul on Wagner, and Allstork will head to the line to try to tie things up at 5 apiece.
24, Allstork at the line is shooting one.
By the way, that three for Wagner, his 20th of the season. So if you're an Illinois fan tuning in, like, wait, what's Wagner doing out there? Yeah, he can shoot that shot.
Oh, he sure can. But again, it was all set up by the screen. I mean, Bo Wagner sets a hard screen. They see a hard screen, forcing LeBron Black to actually help and take on the driver or the dribbler. And he's able to step into a good shot. That's what you want to do for Wagner, too. You want to get him some open looks. Get him back into the rhythm and the flow of this game because, you know, since the injury, he hasn't really been in it.
Yeah, that ankle injury, the foot injury that he sustained on December 12th. And John Beilein, he hasn't been right since that injury. They want to get him back to full speed.
Well, this is a tough game for him. It really is. And I think you're going to have to try to keep him as fresh as possible because even the cut that you have to make to get open, it has to be a hard cut.
Backdoor cut and a kick ball. So Michigan will have it underneath.
I think it's the right idea. It's the right idea to back cut pressure. But this team does such a good job of getting deflections, getting steals. You have to be very disciplined in your approach, but you still have to attack.
Fire of a pass over to Ibi Watson, and he takes it inside and misses off the heel. Ibi Watson only played 2 minutes against Iowa, did not score. Got his first shot up there. In the corner, open look. And that drops down 8-5. Illinois leading it off the three from Mark Smith.
Michael Finke with a great job just looking Smith off and forcing the defense to stay at home. One dribble in, throw back out. That's just smart basketball.
And that's something Brad Underwood loves to see, because Smith is only shooting 23% from long range, but Brad Underwood said he's much better than that. And here's a whistle on the floor before the shot. And that will take us to the under-16 media timeout. Illinois weathering the early storm, going up 8-5 on this Smith triple from the corner.
Hey, Chris, how's the move going?
For Michigan, welcome courtside, everybody. Along with John Crispin, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Glad to have you with us. Illinois 0-3 in league play, but I think that's a little deceiving. They've been close. Pretty good start for them.
I think the challenge is consistency. To play 40 minutes of consistent basketball with that kind of effort that it takes to play with the intensity, with the pace, and the tempo that they like to play. It's also making good decisions for 40 minutes. That's a challenge.
And for Michigan, you got to think that they're looking for Wagner, yes, but Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, a guy that they need to get going.
Oh, they need to get him going, particularly with the pink shoes. With the pink shoes, he's much, much better. I don't know why. Sometimes basketball players, athletes in general, are superstitious. I don't know about you, but I wear the same socks every game.
Is that serious?
No, I don't wear the same socks every game. Too vain.
Watson. 3 is short. How about the offensive board, though? Teskey, Wagner's backup with a strong rebound inside.
Teskey's been fantastic, and he's not going to be Mo Wagner, but that's not who he needs to be. He just needs to be John Teskey.
He's averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds off the bench. Watson stepping into his third shot of the game, but he's 0 for 3.
I think shooting percentages go down when you play Illinois because of how they force you to play faster. They force you to make quick decisions. They force you to rush at times. It's a different rhythm in the game.
Pass inside, and maybe a bad decision that time, forcing it in there. Tejan Lucas, it's knocked out of bounds.
You talk about Teskey. I mean, he's a big body, and he's always looking to do the dirty work. You know, he's just cleaning up the trash. He's always setting screens, and there's always a place for a guy on that floor. You know, he had a contact issue last game I was doing here.
He's got it figured out, Abdur-Rahman.
Get some goggles, man. Goggles is a great look.
Well, you're saying some outlandish things. I will say.
I too. I like the goggles.
Going back in the days of Horace Grant.
Look, no Horace Grant. Who am I thinking of? Kirk Rambis.
Yeah, there you go. That's the classic. That's the gold standard. Backdoor cut. Tejan Lucas had to teardrop it up into the shot clock and missed it. Xavier Simpson. Right now it's a 6-0 run for Illinois. Teskey can't stop it. How about Aby Watson? No, nice rejection by Williams. It falls to Robinson, their best shooter, and he knocks it down.
A great second chance opportunity. I mean, Teskey got to make that shot, but they kept the play alive. Duncan Robinson got himself a shot.
First bucket for Robinson. Now in the corner, second 3, same spot for Mark Smith.
You know, those are the head scratchers for a guy like John Beilein, where you sit there and go, guys, did we not discuss these things? Who the best three-point shooters are? I don't care what his percentage says. He's one of the best shooters on the floor.
And it's the Illini with an 11-7 lead. And now an illegal screen. That's going to be called on John Teskey.
Doesn't take too long to get that call made. Seriously, in the game today, they're calling that illegal screen as much as anything else. And I understand, because you're trying to give the offense a bit of an advantage by not allowing defenders to put hands on them. But you can't give them that much of an advantage that you can set illegal screens and move, and you've got to be set. I understand cleaning that up. It's just called a lot.
Yeah, it is called a lot. Has it been consistent, though, this year?
It's been consistent, which means, look, an umpire that calls an outside corner pitch a strike in the first inning, it might be a bad call. If they call it in the 4th, 5th, 6th inning, it's actually okay, because it's consistency, and it's up to the players to figure that out.
Eli Brooks coming off the bench in this one, finding Robinson for an easy deuce.
It's hilarious. Eli Brooks went to throw a lob, and Robinson's like, dude, how long have we been playing together?
You know I'm a shooter.
Yes.
I'm not a leaper. Makes it 11-9.
Just give it to me in the pocket, man.
4 for Robinson. Trent Frazier.
Now, Charles Matthews, different story. Throw that thing to the top of the backboard.
Boy, Matthews so athletic. A Kentucky transfer. Michigan with a chance to tie or take the lead. Here is Matthews. Last 6 games, 19.3 a contest for him. Leading score at 16 tonight, and here is another offensive foul.
I don't know about that one. I mean, there's only so much you can do if you're bigger. And that's not an illegal screen. They're saying it's just on the arm of John Teske, and that's not a foul. I mean, they're saying it's an elbow, but that's not a foul. He didn't even connect. Look, Melo Trimble did this so well in his days. He threw his head back, and he sold fouls. And I think that's exactly what happened. Frazier just sold a foul there.
Let's get another look. Watch Matthews here.
Oh,
yeah, he sold it.
Come on. That's, you know, and you put Charles Matthews on the bench with that foul. That's bad.
Puts a lot of energy into the Chrysler Center at 12:17 in the afternoon.
I'd rather have Charles Matthews on the floor than...
Yeah, that's the big one. That's a big one, John, because now he's on the bench with 2 fouls, 13:03 left in the half.
I think you got to look at it. This is a basketball play, first and foremost. I mean, so he caught it. Look, there is a cylinder rule, too, where if you are inside the cylinder and a guy makes a basketball play, it's actually a defensive foul. So in that case, it should be a defensive foul over an offensive foul. I'm sorry.
The officials blew the whistle, went over and looked at the monitor.
But you have rights to that space. And I'd be interested to say, I mean, here you're going to see Charles Matthews, Lucas is in his space. You have rights to that space, and it's not even a thrown elbow. It's really a shoulder.
That's my thing. It's the shoulder. The elbow, he went straight up with his arm. It's not like he pointed the elbow out.
He did not rip through. He did not come across the chin. That's tough. Look, I know they've got to call the game as it's written in the rule book, and you're supposed to look for that. But that to me is basketball play.
Good acting by Frazier, and Illinois has that 2-point lead, and now Matthews on the bench, and here's an offensive foul on Duncan Robinson, and now the natives are really restless.
You know, this is good defense, though. I know you're going to be frustrated about the call because you're compounding things, but that's good defense, and that's what the defense is looking to get you to do. Duncan Robinson's just going to shed a little bit. I know the fans don't like it, but that's what the defense is going to do to you.
Nice pass inside and a good strong finish by Trent Frazier.
And this is where poise for Michigan is going to come into play. You've got to settle in here. You've got a freshman at the point right now. You're going to have to handle pressure. They're going to take passes away. You've got to settle in. Eli Brooks a little unsure with the basketball.
Yeah, that's freshman on freshman. Eli Brooks takes it inside, and he's rejected by Mark Allstork.
Well, not a single pass made.
Three-pointer from the wing. Frazier short. And Abdul Rahman traces it down. Crowd wants a foul there on the rebound, and now they will get a foul at midcourt on Mark Allstork. We go to immediate timeout. They are fired up. Illinois up 4.
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Farm here to help life go right. Illinois leading on the road. 13-9, 11:58 left in the first half. Let's go back and have a quick look at that Duncan Robinson offensive foul, because it looks like they got this one right.
Yeah, no, they got this one right, and this is great defense. I know there's a little bit of hands in there, but you're allowed. This is an extension to get some space. You can't do that. That was a right call. Yeah, I know some Michigan fans may be frustrated about some of the calls, and well, I think they have a point with the Charles Matthews second foul. They got that one right.
Eli Brooks, high off the glass, no. Contested at the rim again.
Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to force you to not only drive the basketball, but to make tough shots, tough twos to win this game. They're not going to give you easy threes. Michigan's too good in that department.
Wolverines just 4 of 14 from the floor. For Illinois, Mark Smith has 8 of the 13 points. There's 2 for Kipper Nichols, Johnny, on the spot.
Kipper Nichols has to be that guy that comes in and beats you up at the 3 position. I think Coach Underwood was a little frustrated with Allstork. This great recognition from Aaron Jordan. His eyes were on the ball the entire time with a safety back there. Just baited the quarterback into throwing that pass.
Illinois forcing 6 Michigan turnovers. Again, Michigan only averages 9.9 turnovers a game. They've been top 10 in that category for so many years. It's just a regularity. Trent Frazier splitting and kicking. Extra pass in the corner. Nichols can't knock it down, but an offensive rebound for Jordan.
Good spacing for Illinois. That's why they're able to get that one extra pass, open shot. It's hard to imagine this team is 0-3 in conference play. It's a really good team, but you've got to be able to do this for 40 minutes, and I think that's worth pointing out. Good defense.
Turnover from DeMonte Williams, and then to make things worse, a foul in transition is going to be called on Aaron Jordan. Don't forget, coming up after our game, we got another one, and it's a good one. Nebraska at number 13, Purdue from West Lafayette. The action continuing 2:15 p.m. Eastern right here on BTN and streaming live on BTN To Go and Fox Sports Go.
I'm not going to sit there and say Nebraska's going to beat Purdue. I think Purdue is elite, not just good. They're elite. But Nebraska's really good. They came out with a lineup. Roby at the 5, 4 playmakers around the perimeter. It's kind of like their death squad. Be interested to see how that team ends up. Playing a little more small ball. I think it could beat up on people.
And they beat Purdue last year in Lincoln. It's a better Nebraska team this year. Wagner back in the game for Michigan. Backdoor lob and a slam for Kipper Nichols. Great feed from Aaron Jordan.
Okay, if you're not going to pressure the ball, you've got to take away stuff over the top. And I look at that. That's a combination. It's a breakdown on the backside, on the screen, but it's also not enough pressure on the ball, allowing the guy to pick out his pass.
Michigan hasn't scored since the 13:45 mark. It's a 9-2 Illinois run right now. Robinson looking to change all of that. And he gets a very friendly home bounce. You know that. That's a shooter's touch.
Yeah, shooter's touch. Some guys out there say, well, he got that bounce because he spins the ball backwards when he shoots. Everybody who can shoot a basketball spins the ball backwards.
Speaking of nice spin, how about Kipper Nichols? He has 6 points. He was 1 of 7 against Minnesota. Didn't have a three-pointer. He was 0 of 4.
Well, it's tough the way they play. You've got to find yourself in the rhythm of the game. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
It is indeed.
They just bait you into it. But I talk about Kipper Nichols. You got to get into the rhythm and the flow of the game. And it's hard to do. It really is. It's hard to do when you play with such tempo and pace. And when there are sets that work this well, I mean, that's just weak defense. I think Mo Wagner, we talk about jump to the ball. You know, Kipper Nichols, you have to know who you're covering. You just got to jump back, if anything, and take that away at the rim.
He has the last 6 points for the Illini. So an 8-point lead for the team from Champaign. Looking to add to it. Offensive foul.
That's a great job. Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman getting in position. He read the cut. He did exactly what they didn't do in the previous play, which was jump to the pass. He jumped to the pass, was in position to take this charge. He's ahead of the play. I mean, that's the way to play basketball. You're not going to allow a face cut that leads into a layup. Good defense by an experienced player.
Mark Smith staying on the floor right now with those 2 fouls. Nice spin move, Simpson. And then he gets bumped before the pass into the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge for Illinois to pressure the way they want to pressure without fouling. And I know that's something Brad Underwood talked about with Allstork, where he does some great things, but then you pick up a few dumb fouls, and it really sets you back.
And now Smith takes a seat. Get ready for free throws. Both teams in the bonus for the final 8:29. Mentioned earlier, free throw shooting been a little bit of a struggle for the sophomore Xavier Simpson, but he gets the first there.
It's tough too, because I think what helps Xavier Simpson the most is just time on the floor and time playing against a team like Illinois. But you have to go with the guys that give you the best opportunities. And some days it may be Eli Brooks. Today I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Eli Brooks is comfortable enough yet to handle this type of pressure.
Well, Simpson was so good against Iowa. Tying career high 15 points, 7 assists, no turnovers.
How about that take? Wow.
Tejan Lucas.
Tejan Lucas.
You can't allow him to just cut in front of your face like that and turn the corner. And I think they did a great job of that handoff, not fouling. So many times when you do a triple handoff or handoff at the elbow, those rub screens are automatic fouls.
Illinois plus 10 points in the paint. Shot from the outside, no good for Abdur Rahman. Offensive board. And a Michigan reset. Michigan 5 of 17 from the field. Offense sluggish right now. Simpson trying to get him going. Simpson down the lane, scooping it up and swatted out of bounds. Allstork with a rejection. 7.5 left in the first half. And the Illini looking strong in Ann Arbor. Doing everything right on offense. Tejan Lucas with a nice scoop.
We believe local needs are best.
In that start against Minnesota dug such a big hole. Today, 9 of 18 from the floor.
Well, that's what they needed to do. They needed to get out to a hot start, but as great as the hot start is, they've got to sustain it. You've got to play 40 minutes of basketball like this, because at some point, I do believe Michigan's going to get settled in with this pressure. They're going to get a little bit more confident with the basketball. They're going to be able to get in with the dribble drive. I think the bigs at some point with Mo Wagner and John Teske down low have to start to dominate this game.
Michigan, conversely, 5 of 18 from the field. Of course, the Wolverines riding a 6-game win streak. And here's a foul before the ball even gets inbounded. And they're going to get that on Muhammad Ali Abdur Rahman, his first, the team's 7th.
And I think that's a product of the pressure. When you're up in the chest of the offensive player has to get space. And to get space, Muhammad Ali Abdur Rahman just kind of drove him down.
But I know a lot of the fans sometimes just want the officials to let the players play, but these officials are paid sometimes to call the contact.
Well, they're called the game. That's the thing. They're calling it as they see it.
Up ahead, Livers. His first bucket will not drop.
But nothing easy. I mean, they're just contesting everything. Great run out, though. You got to capitalize on those opportunities. Livers would be a great guy to get going, too.
He had a career-high 13 against Iowa. Tejan Lucas searching for space. Extra pass in the corner. Illinois has been patient on offense. It's proved fruitful. Not there. Black can't connect. Here's Livers. There you go.
That's a great attacking transition. If you put pressure on the defense to retreat, they want to protect the paint, but force them to cover the three-point line in transition. It's going to give you opportunities.
Livers, the freshman from Kalamazoo, mentioned the 13 points against Iowa. He was 3 of 3 from outside the arc, and then he buries that one here. Lucas driving inside. Is that an offensive foul? Yes, it is. Second foul on Tejan Lucas.
And that's great defense, but what Simpson did was he read the play. He read the play based on what's happened the past few possessions, which is they're looking to turn the corner and get downhill. If you know Lucas is trying to get downhill, you beat him to the spot. That's how you pick up that foul.
As well as number 1.
And you don't have to be standing set, not moving, feet in cinder blocks to get a charge foul. You have to be in position. Simpson was in position.
So Lucas to the bench for the 2 personals and 2 points. As Xavier Simpson walks it up. Teske to a cutting Livers. So Livers now has the last 5, and the crowd starting to get amped up, and there's a travel. Trent Frazier shuffled his feet in the lane.
Teske's the guy here. Teske makes himself available here on the pass. I mean, it's just going to be wide open there, passing down for the cutting Livers.
And Livers is open again. Does Illinois have an answer? Batted out. And a fight for it, and it's going to result in Finke throwing it down with the right hand.
This game has gotten really good. I think the fans are into it even more because of how it started out. I mean, remember, Charles Matthews is on the bench with 2 fouls. The first one he got on basically the jump ball.
Simpson to the corner, 3 in the air, no, but a whistle. They're going to say that Allstork hit Jordan Poole on the arm, and 3 free throws are coming up.
Allstork picks up some of those fouls. He gets some of those weak fouls, and I actually love how he plays. I mean, he plays with an intensity, with a toughness, but sometimes he gets himself into a tough situation.
And, John, if you're Brad Underwood, you now have 3 guys with 2 personal fouls.
I mean, it's not bad. It wasn't egregious. Maybe a little bit of a high five. But I did say, right, Michigan at some point is going to get comfortable alleviating the pressure, and I think it goes back to the transition bucket for Livers. And then John Teske making himself available by faking the ball screen, bouncing back off. It just changes how you have to cover the team. Good read by Teske. Good, great minutes, but Mo Wagner coming back in.
Teske gets a blow. Brad Underwood getting more and more heated over there on the Illinois bench as that lead has shrunk, and it can be tied if this free throw drops for Jordan Poole. And we are tied at 23. It's a 10-2 Michigan run.
Well, this is where you want the consistency from Illinois to be present. You have to continue to attack on both sides of the floor and do it without fouling. You got to take care of basketball. Great idea, just not good execution.
Yeah, Smith had Kipper Nichols. Just an errant pass.
And Brad Underwood just said, throw it early. And you've got to be able to make those reads. And that's what an experienced player will learn how to do. You're reading where the play is going to be at the right time. So you're not waiting for a guy to get there and then throwing the pass late and having to force it out of bounds.
After the turnover, Smith to the bench. Dangerous pass. Kipper Nichols takes it away. But a wild shot, expecting contact, and there wasn't any. And here's a lob. I think Isaiah Livers has a bright future here in Ann Arbor.
Especially if he runs the floor like that. I mean, he's just been looking to make something happen.
Wild shot, but then a foul underneath on Abdur-Rahman will send Illinois to the line when we get back.
Look, that's a good foul. You don't want to give any easy opportunity, especially as you've got the momentum in your favor, and it's been Livers running the floor, catching lobs, making back cuts. Michigan's starting to roll.
Why did you take credit card debt on?
Looking for somebody to come off the bench and give you a little boost. And 9 points in a few minutes from Isaiah Livers will give you just that, a 3-pointer and 3 straight dunks. The crowd finally got into it. I think Michigan's starting to get comfortable with the pressure, turning things around a bit.
So the career high 13 last game against Iowa on 5 of 6 shooting. And now 9 points in 5 minutes, as you said, for Livers, a 12-2 Michigan run.
I couldn't figure out how many minutes it was, so I just said a few. I figure that's safe. That's like
5 officially.
That's anything from like 2:45 to about 6 or 7.
I think that works.
I went safe. I mean, what a burst. And that's what you're looking for. Also interesting to see Simmons in the game, did not play against Iowa. Now being asked to handle some pressure.
2 free throws out of the timeout for LeBron Black, and that's his first point. Remember, he leads Illinois on the season in points and rebounds.
He's been great. He really has. I think he's been even better as he stepped out and made the 3-pointer a key part of his game.
He was fouled by Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, and that was Abdur-Rahman's second, so he is on the bench, maybe for the final 3:42 of the half.
Yeah, second, but a good foul. You don't want to give up anything easy, especially when you start to gain the momentum.
4th tie of the game, 25 apiece.
Time Illinois just taking passes away. I mean, they just force you into bad situations.
And then a turnover for a turnover. Jordan Poole. Blocking foul. He'll head to the line. Whistle that one on Aaron Jordan, his second. Now 4 Illinois players with 2 fouls.
I mean, I know it looks sloppy, but when you're asking guys to make quick decisions with tempo and pace, it's going to look that way from time to time. I think the team that wins this game is the team that settles in first. Settles in, gets comfortable with the pace, makes good decisions, doesn't rush. And I think also Illinois has to be careful. There are times when the guards gamble a little bit too much, and there Mo Wagner threw a turn. It was a bad pass, but Frazier gambled and actually had a wide open player sitting in the three-point line in the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that's 3 times now that they've created a turnover and then given it right back to Michigan.
You just got to make good decisions. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, especially when you want to play with tempo and pace. When the intensity's high, you almost have to be able to be the better team making decisions, because you're going to make Michigan uncomfortable. That's just what they do.
LeRon Black still doesn't have a field goal. He's 0 for 4.
And I like that. I like that attacking Wagner. Make Wagner work.
3-pointer Livers. So he stays on 9 points inside of 3 to play in the first half. From Ann Arbor, Trent Frazier trying to create, and he does so off the bounce.
He did such a great job of getting into the body of the defender. I believe it was Poole. He got into the body, created space, and that's what you need to do if you're going to be a guard for Michigan right now, is drive the basketball. Mainly because they don't let you make passes.
Stay tuned. State Farm halftime report. Dave Revson, Mike DeCourcy, Sean Morris. They'll be along from our Chicago studio with that State Farm halftime report, getting you caught up on everything around the conference. Foul was on Trent Frazier. So Frazier becomes the 5th Illini to pick up his 2nd personal foul.
It's funny, I was talking to John Beilein before the game, and I said, well, how many guys need to make plays? And he goes, well, not everyone, but pretty much most of the guys are on the floor. And I asked him if you have to drive the basketball. He goes, well, they're not going to let us pass it, so we might as well. We're going to have to drive. And I think that's what teams are going to start to figure out. Don't waste time. Get downhill, attack the basket. And I know that's what Illinois wants you to do, but you've got to attack pressure. You cannot sit back, play with your, weight back on your heels. Great find, great back cut.
Jordan, spectacular pass indeed to Tejan Lucas.
I understand not over-helping, that's one thing, but if you're not in position on the help side of defense, put yourself in a bad spot.
Well, they've been covering Duncan Robinson, all those shooters you mentioned, but this time Robinson gets open and knocks it down. Duncan Robinson, 9 points. That's his first triple, but he's 4 of 5 from the field. LeRon Black going toe-to-toe with Mo Wagner. Well, you said you like him to attack him. He did.
You've got to attack him. You've got to attack the shot blocker, but you also have to see how well he's able to move. Mo Wagner's not yet really 100%. And I would make him work as much as possible, especially if you have 15 feet to work with.
Driving inside and off balance, Jerron Simmons. Wild leads to a 5-on-4. And Simmons recovers. Simmons, that 3rd guard option off the bench, hasn't been seeing many minutes this year. Nichols from the wing.
That's a great find. Tejan Lucas kept his dribble alive. Didn't commit by jumping up in the air. Kept his eyes up. Maintained his dribble. Sometimes allowing the guy to dribble through might be the most dangerous play, and that's going to be an easy steal and foul. Mo Wagner.
Wagner picking up his 2nd.
And it's amazing how much they pressure. They just pressure and pressure. Simmons just not really ready for it.
Reminder, State Farm halftime report, and just 48.2 seconds on the game clock.
It's been a heck of a first half.
It has.
Michigan really fought back, and it was the 5 minutes from Livers who just got them back into this game. But at some point, I don't know if Mo Wagner's got blood on the knee.
See the 5 with 2 fouls on the side of Illinois as Tejan Lucas, who is one of them with 2 fouls, goes to the line for a 1-and-1 and cannot connect on the front end. Pretty impressive last few minutes though for Illinois after Michigan went on that run.
Yeah, you always wonder, can they maintain that sense of urgency, that intensity? And that's not going to be a good pass.
Well, Livers can jump, but I don't think he can jump that high. And then a timeout.
What you do, you have to be impressed with the fight back from Illinois. They're playing with a sense of urgency and not having won a game yet in conference and being 1 or 2 possessions away from a couple of wins. I even look at the Minnesota game. They got it down to 4, and it's 1 or 2 possessions that determine the outcome of that game, whether they're going to be competitive or the game's going to go in the opposite direction. So I think they understand the value of each possession and maintaining the intensity, and for a consistent 40 minutes. I mean, I know that man does. Brad Underwood, one of the most intense guys in the conference.
Well, and part of the teaching process is you got a lot of youth. You got a lot of young guys. Look at the percentage of the team totals here by these youngsters on the side of Illinois.
Yeah, well, it's not just youngsters. It's also new players. You know, you look at guys that have not really been a part of this program. Even Allstork, he's asked to do a lot of things on the floor. And when you say youth, I think of experience, and this experience is not only playing the game of college basketball, but the experience is understanding the system that you're playing within. So if that's the case, everybody's new, everybody's young. So I think LeRon Black might as well be a freshman. It's a different system. It's a new system.
Dangerous pass. It does get into Kipper Nichols. Yeah, Allstork, who's on the bench right now, but he's the only senior, the grad transfer.
He's tough, too. He's the kind of guy, great teammate, but you would hate to play against him.
3-second difference, shot and game clock. Lucas. Against 2 defenders, almost traveled up to Nichols. And that's how this half is going to end, because Williams could not get a shot off in the corner. But Illinois takes a 3-point lead into the locker.
It's been a good half of basketball. Illinois came out strong, but Michigan started to settle in, found a little support from their youth and Livers.
And the Illini lead it by 3 at intermission. Stay tuned. Dave, Mike, and Sean will be along from Chicago with a State Farm halftime report after this break. The sun is shining in Ann Arbor, but it is frigid. Great job by our crew just to get out this morning and get some wonderful shots. Illinois up by 3 at intermission. 34-31, but as we take a look at our auto owners game leaders, a couple of people that you might not expect to see on your screen.
Well, and they did it in bunches, right? They came out, they got a few easy looks, both guys looking to attack, but the key was Isaiah Livers and the basket that he was able to get in a short period of time. That just broke down some of the pressure. And here's another way. You want to break down pressure, you've got to get below the level of the ball. And once you break this off, John Teske did a great job faking the ball screen. He got a catch. Now you're forcing 3 guys to cover 4. Teske does a good job turning, identifying the open player. Livers makes the right read. You're going to have to look to do more of that to alleviate the pressure that these point guards are facing around the perimeter.
Now Charles Matthews, just 1 minute, 2 fouls, and went right to the bench. You better believe he's going to be fired up to start this second half.
Well, you got to be careful. Sometimes when you get too fired up, you get yourself into trouble. So if I'm Illinois, I'm looking to go right at Charles Matthews. I would want the ball right now to go at Charles Matthews because he's that good, too. You want to get him off the floor.
Illinois' leading scorer with the ball right now, LeRon Black on the season, but only 4 points in this one. So, as we said, it's not the usual suspects. Illinois starting the second half with a turnover, and it leads to the lob. There is Charles Matthews.
How about that? Get out, run the floor well. Charles Matthews is going to find a way to impact this game, and you hope the impact is not the fact that he fouls out.
Well, his first bucket taking out some frustration on the rim.
I mean, look, there's a lot of games that I've impacted the game, but it hasn't always been in a positive way, and it didn't always lead to a win. So
2 possessions to start the second half for Illinois, both turnovers.
Look, you've got to get out and run, especially on turnover situations. And a great job, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, attacking with his head up. He's one of the best players at getting to the rim. But Charles Matthews finally getting himself involved in this game after only 1 minute in the first half.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire.
Line also still wants to get Mo Wagner back Mentioned that injury on December 12th, and this is what he said after last game. He just hasn't been the same.
Well, he hasn't been the same, and he's a key component to their success, and mainly because he exemplifies what they want to do. They want to be able to space the floor. They want to be able to capitalize, and here you see the injury. That doesn't look good. It's not what you're actually supposed to do. He actually has an extra bone in his ankle, and that's what led to the bone bruise. Both bones collided. Bone bruise, there you are.
He has 3 points in 10 minutes so far in this game, does Wagner. Had just 4 points against Iowa. Here he is at the top of the key, driving right inside. Bucket and a foul, Mo Wagner.
And that's what it's got to be. Mo Wagner's got to be able to attack from the perimeter because you have to respect his ability to shoot the shot. There you see, just a poor closeout from Michael Finke. But it's a closeout nonetheless. And why you close out on a 7-footer? Well, because he can make that shot. You also, at some point, if Mo Wagner's dribbling at you, and I wouldn't do it, I'm just pointing this out, you got to stand in there and take the charge.
No, you just tell other people to do that, right?
Hey, go do that.
A disastrous first minute for Illinois. 2 turnovers, you give up 5 points.
Well, you've got to take away transition opportunities if you're Illinois. And those transition opportunities usually come after a turnover.
So 36-34, Michigan back in the driver's seat. Back and forth we go. DeMonte Williams to Trent Frazier. Backdoor cut, Jordan. And it blocked by Wagner. And into the hands of Xavier Simpson. Up ahead for Wagner. And then Frazier with a quick silencer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was one heck of a silencer. I mean, to get Mo Wagner going, especially right after we talked about him, that always makes it look like we know what we're talking about, at least in that instance.
Yeah, we mentioned Matthews. He had the slam and then a couple of buckets for Wagner.
We're on fire today.
The end of Wagner again. There was contact. If there wasn't a whistle, he walked, but there was a whistle.
We've seen this, you know, Wagner with the defense. If you get out in transition, I mean, great run out. We've seen this from Nick Ward at Michigan State. Sorry, Michigan fans, to mention Michigan State in a Wolverine broadcast. But Mo Wagner being able to run the floor that well, it just changes the game. And then Trent Frazier just downhill, attacking the basket.
Frazier has 6 after that bucket.
When big guys run the floor and they run hard to the rim, it forces the defense to converge. And Illinois is aware of the three-point shooter, so they're retreating back to defend the three-point line. Great take, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman.
First points of the game for Abdul-Rahman. He averages 11 on the season.
I like to say his whole name. It just kind of rings. It's got a good ring to it.
9 syllables, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, but it does have a good ring to it. Later tonight, when the action ends, the Big Show takes over. Highlights from around the conference, post-game reaction, and more. The Big Show tonight, 9:30 Eastern, here on BTN.
Those guys putting in double time then, man. It's
extra work in Chicago.
Deep into the night. I mean, it's not a bad gig. You know, you're watching hoops all day, talking about all the things I missed in this game, and then cleaning it up to put a little bow on it at top of the night. That sounds great.
But then you get to do it to others when you're in studio,
of
right?
Course,
you get
totally.
Yeah. Just 4 to shoot. Trent Frazier realizes it, hoists and leaves it short. Simpson finding an open Robinson. Well, the pass was a little errant.
Yeah, I mean, shooters want the shot so you can catch that thing in rhythm. That's probably what John Beilein's saying. That's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, that was not deflected. Just a bad pass by Trent Frazier.
Frazier wanted a foul. He said he grabbed his arm. They may have grabbed his arm a little bit. That's it. Usually you can tell when someone grabs an arm, they throw their hands straight up in the air. You got to talk to Simpson. Look, if you foul somebody, don't just throw your hands up in the air. It looks like you're guilty.
3 turnovers this half for Illinois. It was 12-9 plus 3 for Illinois in turnovers in the first half. Now it's 12-12.
Yeah, and I think you got to be okay if you're Michigan with Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman bringing the ball up and initiating the offense. Look out.
Contact at the rim. Nichols coming over and meeting Matthews at the apex.
Oh, Matthews is a highlight film, man. He's just looking to put something up on YouTube or a GIF, whatever they call that. Great job of just declining the ball screen and reading that the baseline's open. And you also got to credit Kipper Nichols for going up, taking it on the chest, and not allowing the highlight on them.
And that was clean, just a good hard play by Nichols.
Good, clean, hard foul.
Charles Matthews at the line. It's been an issue for him. 54% free throw shooter this year.
Not a bad shooter. It's just amazing. The foul line, it just gets guys out of sorts mentally.
Kid from St. Rita High School, south side of Chicago, played with Vic Law of Northwestern at that school. And Matthews gets 1 of 2. Michigan by 5. There's a bump.
Yep.
Lucas caught it, and he's fouled. That's the 3rd on Charles Matthews.
And that's where you can't be trailing the play. They did a great job of trading off the cuts. They switched down on the baseline, but if you switch, you have to be anticipating where the guy that you're switching onto is going. And if you get trailing the play, that's when you pick up that foul, because Illinois is looking to curl everything tight, get inside the paint.
Right back to the bench goes Charles Matthews.
I like the 2-point guards for Illinois, too. Frazier and Tejan Lucas. I mean, these guys do a great job. You look at the spacing, or the lack thereof, on that dribble handoff. There's no space for a defender to get inside of that, and that's why Simpson trailing the play. Watch this. No space. There is no space there on the ball. He's almost forced to get behind and grab.
The difference, Frazier a better scorer than Lucas, correct?
Yes. Yeah, but, you know, some games it might be one and not the other.
Finke, reverse, and it's blocked by Abdur-Rahman. Finke still with 2 points from the first half. They're going to call that over and back. Robinson passing casually to Wagner, and he was not set in the front court.
You know, and that's on Duncan Robinson. You know, I know Mo Wagner's just coming into the play. Oh, man, that's really close. But, yeah, that's on the passer. You know, because we live in the world of whose fault was that?
Got to point blame, right? Apparently, that's what we do.
I hate that about our what we do.
41-36 Michigan. Illinois jumped out early in this one. Michigan settled in. They've started strong in this second half. Tejan Lucas up to Kipper Nichols. He's been a nice spark for Brad Underwood today. Alley-oop! Eddie Boigman couldn't dunk it, but he lays it in for 2.
It's the second time with no ball pressure and just a lack of awareness on the backside. You get back cut at an open lob.
Greggy Boigman had 9 points season high against Minnesota. Came out of nowhere. That's his first bucket in this game.
He's just making it hard to get a catch.
Robinson, there's an open catch in 3. No, but a whistle inside. And they're going to get that foul on Mo Wagner. On the other end, the lob to Boigman. Illinois down 3 in Ann Arbor.
They came out of nowhere, sir.
How many of them?
We don't know.
Votes in that top one. Hey, Michigan State's pretty good, aren't they?
We don't want to bring that up. This is a Wolverine and the Illini broadcast, but they are. They're as good as I've ever seen Michigan State Spartans, and that even counts that 2000 team that won national championship. Keita Bates-Diop has been fantastic. He's really just thrived in this new system. And then Lamar Stevens, the Clubber Lang of Big Ten basketball. He's a nice guy, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if there's anybody just physically as dominant out there like him. I think Jordan Murphy's along those lines, but Lamar Stevens has a little bit more to his game that I think he's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, reminder, by the way, it's social media day. All the Bitmojis here in Ann Arbor. You showed us your Bitmoji during intermission.
Mine is so lifelike.
They gave out T-shirts and towels here for the promotion today. Smith driving baseline, cut off, dangerous pass. Now he gets it back. And an offensive foul as he drove and threw down Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
I think they got this right. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman keeps his hands up, and it's always on the discard. I know there's a little bit of contact there on the defense, just right along the side of the offensive driver, but it's the discard that you're always going to get called for.
That's the third foul on Mark Smith. Before the break, by the way, Mo Wagner picked up his third, so he's on the bench. John Teske back in for him. Teske with it now. Jordan Poole. Poole pulling up and burying the three.
John Beilein says Jordan Poole's the best cutter he's got. He said he cuts so hard. Maybe not consistently all the time. That's going to be an open look. Good find, Tejan Lucas.
And an easy bucket, second of the game for Eboigbe.
And Teske just got turned around. Turn?
Yeah, he got turned. Yeah, you're him. Jordan Poole, by the way, has 8 points. He averages 6 points in 9 minutes per game. He's efficient.
Yeah, but I want to get back to that point. He's a great cutter, and that's what you need to do against the pressure. You got to cut hard and pass well and drive hard.
Here's Poole again. Got it. So now 11 points for Jordan Poole. Michigan 5 of 12 from outside the arc. Off-balance shot no good. Kipper Nichols, though, will head to the line.
Michigan ball is the number 22, Duncan Robinson.
Jordan Poole's found himself in the right position here. Great read. If you go under the screen there, you're going to be open. On the second one, they're able to turn the corner, get inside the paint, and Poole just relocated a little bit higher where there's going to be no defense. Defense collapse, relocates up top. Great find and finish.
43 of his 65 shots this year have been from behind the arc, and that's why.
Number 23, Aaron Jordan.
Aaron Jordan in, Mark Smith sitting with the 3 personals.
Well, I mean, that's Michigan's offense, too, is they want to be able to turn the corner, get inside, get into the paint with the dribble. And if you don't have a layup or a dump down for a dunk, you got 4 shooters around the perimeter that can knock down shots, sometimes 5.
Michigan has made on the season 161 threes, right around the top of the Big Ten, and they are only allowing 87 top of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
It's a 5-point lead right now for the Wolverines. With the basketball, Abdur-Rahman. Driving off the glass, yes.
And that's where he's at his best. That's not an easy shot, though. He's not exactly going to the rim.
Turnover. Tejan Lucas a little out of control in the paint.
You know, Abdur-Rahman, they're getting downhill, but he's kind of going away from the basket. It's not an easy shot, but he does a good job of just keeping his head up at the rim on the shot.
And the crowd reacting to Lucas and Simpson shoving a little at the free throw line, but no whistle. So Michigan all of a sudden has pushed this to a 7-point advantage. You see the turnovers pretty even. Duncan Robinson. Oh, he got up in the air and nowhere to go. Around the arc, great passing, Simpson. Can't connect.
Oh, it's great ball movement. You got to be happy with guys starting to figure out how to handle the pressure. Don't want to leave him open, though. Just no rhythm on that shot.
Yeah, Aaron Jordan 55% from 3. Missed an open look. And a foul underneath sends Abdur-Rahman crashing to the floor.
I mean, you've got to be pleased with this play. It doesn't finish with an open shot. Kind of tough spot for Duncan Robinson, but as the ball gets in and then gets back out, moves around the perimeter, you got yourself a great look.
At the line, shooting 2 for Wolverines, number 12, Muhammad.
The other key was you had 4 guys around the perimeter that when the shot went up, they were already back on defense.
Abdur-Rahman. 89% at the line this year.
Coming back with some starters here. Frazier, Allstork, and LeBron Black. Let's see if this lineup can get something going again.
Black still just 4 points, 1 of 5 from the field. Illinois' leading scorer on the season as Abdur-Rahman drops down both.
He usually finds a way to get into the game, though. I mean, like I said, he hasn't gotten anything from the perimeter. They defended the perimeter well. He hasn't gotten much at the rim.
Well, he had all 14 points in the second half against Minnesota. Speaking of Black, here he is. And right on cue, LeBron Black.
I mean, great job. First off, great job by John Teske. Not picking up the foul, just walling up. But an even better job of LeBron Black taking the contact and finishing at the rim. And a best job of the officials for not calling a foul.
They did not. Let them play.
Oh, it was a good, clean play.
Yep. Michigan had their largest lead at 9. Now it's down to 7, and they're going to whistle that off of Illinois.
I mean, it's good to get this guy going at some point because you want him to be aggressive to close out this game, and it's just a good little ball fake, body control, take the contact, head up at the rim, and finish.
12 to shoot. Livers, he had that great spurt in half one. 5 to shoot. Xavier Simpson. And a stop for Illinois. Trent Frazier out of Florida, one of the top players in the state last year. Guarded by Abdur Rahman. Illinois going deep in the shot clock. Frazier has it back. High teardrop, no, but he got dropped to the ground by John Teskey. And we said that it is social media day, emoji day here in Ann Arbor. And even our very own John Crispin getting into the act. Oh,
Looks
boy.
just like me.
Oh, boy.
I got a better tan.
College mascots.
BTN has exclusive coverage of the first 10 games of the 2018 Big Ten Men's Basketball Tournament live from Madison Square Garden to New York City beginning February 28th. Of course, last year in D.C., everybody knows the great run that Michigan had to win the tournament as an 8 seed. And the current Big Ten standings, Mr. Crispin.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people are talking about how top-heavy the league is, but I would say how competitive is from bottom to top is second to none. There are no easy games in the conference. I mean, you look at this Illinois team, an 0-3 record in conference play. There's not a single team in the conference above them that's not concerned with how good Illinois is and how you're going to deal with the type of pressure that you're going to face. And that Iowa team is a team I thought was going to be top 5 in the conference. Still feel like at some point they're going to turn it on.
And those pink shoes of Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, he's been wearing the last few games. He started wearing those last year in that Big Ten tournament and brought them out for good luck.
Well, I mean, they ran out of clothes, man. All their game stuff was, I mean, I did that game. Game stuff was still stuck on the plane. It was part of an investigation. They played that first game against this team, Illinois, in practice uniforms. It was a crazy, crazy experience. I can't put myself in their shoes, but from my perspective, calling a game that doesn't even seem like it matters. When you think about kids and individuals, family members who've gone through this, the first 5-10 minutes of the game, it was more about like just trying to understand the emotions that were going into it. And eventually we got back to basketball, but it was hard to even find significance in basketball for the first few minutes of that game.
And sometimes when something like that happens and everybody's okay, people on the outside don't understand the seriousness of the moment. But you talk to the guys that were on that plane, that was a scary situation.
I think it's something that they'll look back eventually at and go, wow, it was scarier than we even thought about it. Because I think your natural instinct is to deal with things and try not to panic. And then basketball took them away from it. And I bet it's a year down the road where you go, oh my gosh, that's right. I mean, you just take it for granted.
And they would go on to the Sweet 16 last year. Three-pointer the corner, no good. Offensive board. And by the way, they beat Brad Underwood's Oklahoma State team in the first round of the tournament, 92-91. It was a heck of a game.
Well, I think there's a few guys that understand the type of pressure that they're facing, but one of those key guys that's not here is Derek Walton Jr.
Livers continuing his big afternoon.
Look, if you're a Michigan Wolverine fan, you should be as excited about Isaiah Livers as anybody else. I mean, that guy can play 4 positions, and the ability to shoot the 3 is what makes him a key asset on in this program.
Nice drive by Frazier, but he missed the reverse. Abdur Rahman leading the charge. Splitting the defenders and finding his way to the basket.
I think Michigan's starting to figure out that if you deny the ball screen, you're going to have an easier drive to the basket. They don't allow anything over the top of the ball screen if you're Illinois.
Boigmedi. Nice dish inside from Jordan. So Michigan had the largest lead for either team of the game at 10, and now it's down to 8.
But it's been a challenge. Illinois has played very well, but not for the entire duration of the game thus far. They've allowed a few runs, and even though they look great at times, they've got to find a way to be more consistent. Not only with the effort, but also with the execution.
Pass to the corner. Matthews with a friendly bounce. 8 points for Matthews, all in the second half. Backdoor cut. Aaron Jordan rejected. And the scrum for it is going to result in a timeout called by Illinois' Greggy Boyd-Medine.
Charles Matthews gets a hometown friendly bounce on that one. Guy that played, what, a minute in the first half? A minute and 2 fouls. Well, he's come in here and made an impact on this game. Yeah, 11-point lead for Michigan.
An 8-2 Wolverine run. Later today, it's women's basketball as Rutgers host Penn State. 4:30 Eastern right here on BTN and streaming live on BTN To Go and Fox Sports Go.
I've just been impressed with how Michigan's handled the pressure. And you can't say enough about trying to replace Derek Walton Jr. in a game where you need a point guard to make good decisions and make plays for teammates. I think Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman's been great, though. That guy gets downhill. He's becoming a much better passer. He's always had a great game to him. He's got a great pace, got a great tempo, he's got a great demeanor. Doesn't seem like anything sweats him.
He has 4 assists, 59 assists, 10 turnovers on the season. That's the #2 assist-to-turnover ratio in the country.
And not a point guard either. I mean, really just making plays as a driver, as an attacker. And that's the way the game goes. I mean, there you see the numbers.
59-48 is the score. Largest lead of the game right now for Michigan. See if Illinois can battle back. Tijon Lucas had it knocked free by Abdul-Rahman. 15 Illinois turnovers, 13 for Michigan. Illinois led by 3 at intermission, 34-31. 7 to shoot. Charles Matthews needs some help. Wagner. Batted in the air off the miss, and Illinois with a numbers advantage. And taking advantage, Tijon Lucas.
It's amazing how good these guys are if they're able to get downhill. Right now, you got 2 point guards on the floor. Small lineup for the Illini with really Kipper Nichols as the 5. So expect a lot of pressure and expect the Illini to get out and run in transition as quickly as possible. I'd look to get Wagner the ball down low at some point here.
Wagner. Well, John Crispin, I mean, you're just so clairvoyant.
You know, it doesn't take a Mensa scholar to figure that one out. See Mo Wagner, Tijon Lucas, yeah, I'd take that one.
It's Wagner's first double-figure scoring game since that injury against Texas on December 12th. Getting him back into a rhythm. Nichols, he has 13 to lead the Illini. And for Kipper Nichols, 13 points, but the last 4 he's averaged less than 3 a game. Not today.
Be interested to see how much Illinois switches on this possession. Ball screen situation, I don't think you can switch. Yeah, they're going to switch. Look for Wagner once again.
He's got a huge advantage. Trent Frazier tried to come over and help, but he's too short as well.
I just don't think you can switch in that situation. The ball screen is for Xavier Simpson, who's not a shooter, so just go under it. I would go under the ball screen, hug up, and allow Kipper Nichols to stay on Wagner. At least you got a better chance there.
Here's Nichols again, face up. Well, he's got the advantage on offense right now. 15 for Kipper Nichols.
But if you've got the disadvantage in this department where you have Wagner, here's a ball screen situation. You switch. Yep, Tijon Lucas on Mo Wagner. Yeah, I'll take that one. Same thing. That's abuse.
We're here
here because U.S. Cellular has unlimited data.
Insurance, safe, sound, secure for over 100 years. Visit autoowners.com. There's John Crispin before the game this morning.
That's a great hill, man. We don't have hills like that in Jersey.
Yeah, it was, what, like 3 degrees this morning?
Dude, this has been ridiculous, man.
Shooting trends in this game. Illinois, 3 straight field goals, and Michigan, 5 of the last 6.
I love when the weather gets cold, though, and you say, oh, yeah, it's really cold. Someone goes, oh, no. Almost as if, no, it's not. It's colder where I'm at. You know what I mean? Everybody says it. Oh, no. It's really, but we got 5 inches of snow.
I mean, it's.
Oh, but the wind chill's minus 100 here in New Hampshire. It's like,
yeah. Once you get past like 20 degrees, it's all the same. You can't feel your face.
Whatever you tell yourself. I had a bit of ankle exposed, and the wind picked up as I was getting out at O'Hare, and I felt like my foot fell off.
Abdur-Rahman, no foul. He fell to the ground, but he hits the 3.
When they're able to turn the corner on that right side, it's the backside three-pointer from the wing area that's going to be open.
Michigan has now made 8 3-pointers in 17 tries. And Illinois will head to the stripe on the other end with 6:21 to play.
When you're able to turn the corner on the opposite side, I mean, you're going to come off. If you get in the right side, Abdur-Rahman's going to find himself. He's going to pay a pass. That's not what I saw. I don't know what I'm watching.
But 3 points all the same. And then LaRon Black hits the free throw. 14 of 17 games, Michigan has made at least 8 3-pointers now.
It's okay, sometimes I see things that aren't real.
Like that Bitmoji. I still don't believe that was real, but I saw it. Mo Wagner with a rebound.
Is social media not where we get to be a better version of ourselves?
Somehow I don't think that was a better version of yourself.
Got a sweet headband on, though.
Yeah, I don't know about sweet. You've got a headband on. It's an 11-point Michigan lead. Illinois faced a similar second-half deficit at Minnesota after that very cold start. They would fight all the way back within 4, couldn't complete the comeback. Abdur-Rahman missing from long range. Here's a chance for Illinois to get it back to single digits. Remember, they led by 8 in the first half on a couple of occasions. Top of the arc, no good. Trent Frazier, 1 and done.
It'll be interesting to see how much Illinois sticks with the zone.
Well, they let Matthews get free on the baseline. That was easy.
And that happens a lot when you're switching defenses. It's the breakdown in communication. Some guys know you're going zone. Other guys think that you're in man, and no one picks up the guy closest to the basket.
Frazier deflected. Good hands by Xavier Simpson. Now he leads the break, and he lost it. Frazier took it right back. And a collision in the lane. Offensive foul. And I think the Illinois folks on their bench think that Wagner was moving.
It was kind of both sides, where you got Xavier Simpson kind of out of control, going nowhere on one end, and then Frazier leads the break. Wagner really is in position. Frazier just got his head down. He's sure he's going to get to the basket. But again, a breakdown in communication. Charles Matthews, the last guy you want to allow to get to the backside of the defense.
Here goes the extension again by Illinois. 3-quarter court pressure. Just getting it across the timeline, Abdur-Rahman.
Interesting in this zone. I mean, are you able to just pass the ball around? You're getting comfortable now, and Duncan Robinson's going to get a decent look there.
Nice shot fake for Robinson, but he can't connect. Yeah, he's just lurking on that baseline with that defense that Illinois is putting out there.
You know, down 13, you want to make Michigan uncomfortable, but I think they have been uncomfortable. That's going to be too easy. I think they have been uncomfortable with the pressure. And this is what I expect, a little extended pressure, maybe a run and jump at the half-court line. But you got to make Michigan uncomfortable for the duration of this game.
Finke with his second bucket. He was 2 of 11 against Minnesota. That's a guy that averages over 11 a game. They look to get him more involved in the final 4+ minutes here.
I think the Wolverines have been good defensively. They really have. They're much improved defensively.
5 to shoot. Deep 3. In and out. Contact inside, but no call. This would be big for Illinois, but All-Stork can't knock it down, and then a foul on Finke on the push-off. Under 4, media timeout. Come back for the home stretch from the Chrysler Center on the other side.
Hey, Chris, how's the move going?
Of your game in just a moment. Don't forget, it is just the beginning of an action-packed day here on BTN. We've got another game coming up next between Nebraska and Purdue. After that, a women's hoops matchup, Penn State and a vastly improved Rutgers team. Top 15 hockey matchup as well. And then when that is done, we wrap up the entire day on the big show. So lots coming up, but for now, back to Ann Arbor. Brandon?
Okay, Dave, thank you. No love lost here in the 171st meeting between Illinois and Michigan.
That's cold-blooded, man.
But hey, those overtime losses to Northwestern and Maryland, Illinois has been so close as we look at our SoFi game reset. Should the Illini need a timeout down the break, or down the stretch, I should say, they're not going to have any. Michigan with 3 remaining.
It's tough. Look, I think this is a really good Illini team. It's just hard to get over the hump. I think Brad Underwood knows that. He's coming from the Big 12. He knows what a good conference is like. It's hard to get over the hump when you just don't play 40 minutes of consistent basketball. They're right there. It's just a possession here or there. I look back to that run that Michigan made with Livers. 8 points in 5 minutes. It was just bucket after bucket after bucket. And next thing you know, the game's turned around.
Yeah, that really did. You're right. Changed the complexion of the game.
I also think in the second half, Michigan's gotten 3-point opportunities. Good 3-point opportunities. Whether it be against the zone that they've been playing over the last few possessions or against man-to-man, they've been able to turn the corner, get throwbacks, a couple extra passes, open shots in the corner. They've got good looks.
And they've made 8 3-pointers. Illinois only hit 3 from outside the arc. Spinning inside, Tejan Lucas will shoot 2 at the stripe.
So hard to cover guards who want to get shots at the rim because they do a good job of getting their body into you and just forcing you to foul or give them an opportunity to make the layup. Tejan Lucas and Frazier, those guys look to get to the basket. Frazier probably a better finisher. He's got that teardrop that he hits, and not many guys understand how hard of a shot that is.
Lucas hits 1 of 2. Frazier looks on for the bench.
It's a good Michigan team. That's the thing. Like, it's hard to figure out where everybody stands in the conference. You know, Ohio State undefeated, Purdue, Michigan State are on another level right now. But who knows where Minnesota goes right now? You know, without Reggie Lynch, how good is this Minnesota team? And I think Michigan's lurking as potentially that 3rd or 4th best team in the conference.
Well, they've got a tough couple games coming up. Purdue on Tuesday and then at Michigan State. That's what is facing Michigan. Simpson is harassed up top. And they just whistled a foul defensively there on Lucas.
It's the cylinder call, man. There's a cylinder that you can't get inside of. And basically, if you put a cylinder around the offensive player, you can't encroach.
And that was the signal that Chris Bieber was making when he came in there.
That's a hard one. If you're a defender, that's a hard one not to do. If the guy picks up his dribble, I'm going to be all in his face. You know what I mean? And that's a hard one to avoid, I guess I should say.
So when they made that emphasis last year with protecting that cylinder of the offensive player, are you okay with it? You like to see it amended a little bit?
No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. You don't see it called that often, but in that case, it was a foul.
Driving to the bucket, no good for Tejan Lucas, cleared out by Mo Wagner.
I'm just a proponent of doing away with the block charge. I hate it. If you just stand there in front of a guy who's trying to score just to get a charge, I hate that call. Makes it hard for officials, too.
Well, it's the toughest call in the game, right?
And I don't have an answer for it.
Wagner.
I rarely do.
You've got some answers. Lob inside. Well done. Matthews with a pass at the end of the shot clock to Wagner.
Well, great job alleviating pressure with the pass. The ball came back out. Good cut by Matthews. And keeping your head up, you're able to find a teammate.
Lucas spinning. Wagner says no. A little bit of a height advantage for Wagner at 6'11", rejecting 6'1" Lucas.
Michigan's just able to use good ball movement. I mean, the ball moves around the perimeter. You get open, kick it back out. Defense gets extended. Charles Matthews makes a cut to the teeth of the defense, keeps his head up. Wide open layup for Wagner.
Biggest lead of the game for the Wolverines at 14. And that's going to go against Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. His 4th personal foul. Take a peek at the game reset, sponsored by SoFi, rethinking personal finance. Each team with 8 fouls. Timeouts remaining for Illinois and 3 still for the Wolverines. Kipper Nichols surprisingly leads Illinois in scoring with 15. Now he has 16. If he makes his next one, he will tie his career high, the redshirt sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio. Some dejected faces right there on the Illinois bench. But for Nichols personally, a great pickup game after the struggles he had against Minnesota, 1 of 7 and a season low 7 minutes. As Michigan tries to take care of business down the stretch, 2:15 remaining. Simpson bumped 30 feet from the basket. And with 10 on the shot clock, if you're Illinois, you hate that.
Yeah, and I think you got to be pleased with Simpson handling the basketball well. You know, not just immediately coming off the ball screen, waiting, making the defense move a little bit, and making a read. That's one of the biggest challenges for young guys, is to not just play, but to make reads on the floor. You can't allow the defense to dictate what you do. You still have to dictate play.
Simpson talked about his free throw struggles. He's 3 of 6 at the line in this game now, so it turns out okay for Illinois. Allstork off the backboard for 2.
Allstork's tough, man. He's trying to take the charge there. He's going to drive opponents nuts, but if you're an Illini fan, you love that guy.
Grad transfer from Wright State, and now a foul. And once again outside the arc with 1:42 remaining. Duncan Robinson will head to the line.
I don't want to bring this up in a negative way, but at the end of the Minnesota game, Allstork goes up acting like he's about to shake Nate Mason's hand. Then he tries to take the ball away from him, and he still shot it. And as much as that might drive you nuts, it's a guard that just can't handle losing, and I can appreciate that.
Yeah, he was billed as a competitor coming in, and that's exactly what he is. Reminder that coming up after us, Nebraska and Purdue doing battle from West Lafayette.
Now, that being said, you have to control that, contain it to some extent. You have to make sure that those things that motivate you actually motivate you to do productive things, and not things that hurt you.
Mentioned Purdue on that 10-game win streak as they host Nebraska next. Haas and Edwards, 2 of the older guys. Purdue's so experienced. That's the thing. Those 4 seniors in the starting lineup.
Well, they're not just experienced. They're old. Look, Michigan State's experienced. They got sophomores that played a ton of minutes, so I say they're experienced in the college game. Now, the difference is Purdue is old. They are experienced in the sense that they've got great chemistry. They've been around each other. It's not just we played a lot together. They've been around each other for a long time, and I think that's going to pay dividends down the stretch.
And between those 4 seniors, over 315 career starts for the Boilers. Michigan trying to salt this one away, and that will help. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman now has 11.
You know, the other key with being old is having that sense of urgency where there's no more time on the clock. And I know your senior year, you want to finish strong, and if you have old guys like that, they're all going to be bought into a collective goal, a common goal. That is, go as far as we can go and do something special together. We saw that last year with Zach Irvin and Derek Walton. That's going to be a 10-second violation.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson a little too casual getting across the timeline. Jim Beeline is picking up win number 229 here in this game. 11th year head coach, mentioned the 40th year that he has been a coach at the collegiate level.
love the story of John Beeline because the guy's been a head coach everywhere he's been. Probably just because that's how I want to do it.
Yeah, never been an assistant. 40 years, no matter the level. How about that?
I think it's important in developing your system, your style, and, you know, coaching to your personality, not just running someone else's system and doing what someone else tells you to do. And chasing a head coach around. I like the fact that John Beeline has been a head coach everywhere he's been.
Winningest coach in Michigan history.
Of course, my brother's trying to do the same thing. He's crazy, though.
Just like you.
I'm crazy. What are you talking about? I talk about the game. I don't have to figure out all the madness that these poor coaches have to figure out. I just get to learn. That's it. But it's an interesting concept. So many guys come up, they finish playing career, they finish doing whatever it was they were doing, and they become an assistant. They become a video coordinator, but being able to be a head coach from day one to now, it's interesting to see how he's developed not only himself, but developed a system that he has trusted so much. He not only understands the system, he knows the type of players that he has to recruit. So he only recruits players that fit within his system and that can be coached by someone of his personality.
All-Stork way off. Nichols trying to add to his great afternoon, but he can't hit it.
Now, that being said, I think Brad Underwood's another guy who's going to get players that fit his system. And anyone in the Big Ten who has seen this team play knows that Illinois is going to be a legitimate contender in this conference. Not just for many years to come. I'm saying in the near future. Yeah,
the future is bright for Illinois. They had a great first half in this one, but the second half belonged to Michigan. And they pull away to win it 79-69. It's now a 7-game win streak for John Beeline and company. As the Wolverines improve to 14-3 and Illinois drops to 10-7. 6 players in double figures for Michigan for the first time this season. That'll do it from Ann Arbor. Wolverines win it by 10. For John Crispin, I'm Brandon Gaunt. Thanks to our entire crew. Now let's send you to Dave, Mike, and Sean in Chicago for a Big Ten game break. Good afternoon from Ann Arbor.